But in my own view, what's happening is exactly what I expected to happen. Actually, we have not seen the worst. Nothing that has happened so far surprises me in this government, because the people we elected are the people that are doing exactly what some of us anticipated they will be doing.
What we were warned.
Yes, they are only being themselves. They are not there for the good of the country. They went there for themselves. And that's why you see all these chopper rides. It's not about service to the people. It's about a feel-good moment for the person who is in office. It's about my turn to eat. So some of the Kenyans are actually surprised, those who expected that we are going to have a leadership that really cares about the people. But Joachim is not surprised. Yes. I remember I was very loud in the last elections, warning the people of the looming crisis. But they say the majority must have their way, and for us, the minority must have our say. But moving forward, because if this kind of champagne governance persists, then there will be nothing left for any other Kenyan if we continue with this kind of governance style. Because I look forward to a country where you don't have to have proximity to power to enjoy some privileges. You don't have to have some title to yourself for you to afford basic human requirements. I look forward to a country where a parent doesn't have to sweat it out to afford school fees, or sweat it out to even think of managing to get the best health care. But if we continue with this kind of champagne leadership, then the worst is yet to happen. And we are asking ourselves, what could be the problem? Why are we facing all these things? Why all the deductibles on our income?
And more to come.
Yes, because I was looking at it the other day. Direct taxation on our income is 45%.
Yeah.
Indirect taxation is around 6%, which is around 51. So more than 50% of your income is financing someone's lifestyle. Your income that you wake up every morning to go and look for it is not benefiting you. It's helping someone purchase huge chunks of land. In a biting economy like this, we are seeing skyscrapers being planted like mushrooms. So you wonder, how comes we can't even afford food? That 22 million Kenyans cannot afford food, but some people are planting skyscrapers every day. Where are they getting the money from? Then you realize that it's because of pilferage of the national resources. So for us to ensure that we live in a country where everyone benefits, regardless of where you come from, we need accountability on the taxes that we are making. That every expenditure of government is directed towards the public good and not the enrichment of the already rich people who do not need the money anyway. Because you would ask, why are these people stealing? Because they have more than they will ever need, even for the fourth and fifth generations. But why are they still misusing our resources? It's because of their desire to control, that when you make money for yourself, they will be unable to control you. And why all the taxation? We all understand. The other day I was looking at the numbers a little bit, and I realized that in 5 months, the Kenyan government collected a tax of around 900 billion.
Yes.
But when you look at what went to debt payment, is 865. So for 5 months, the government made only 40 billion. When you look at salary payments in this country for a month, government spends 80 billion on salaries. So what we've made for 5 months cannot pay salary for 1 month.
West Pokot pays 3 billion shillings
Yes.
in wages. West Pokot.
So, and the minister said in a year we spend almost 900 billion, which is almost a trillion. So if what we can make for 5 months is not enough to pay salaries for a month, then what are we left with? Then where are they stealing from? It's at this point of debt, because who are we paying?
Who's actually and this is a question. The debt register is actually by law supposed to be a public document that you should be able to today say, I want to have a look at the debt register. Let's know how much Kenya owes, to whom, and let's see, as of, the last payment, who was paid.
And how much.
And how much. So that's an interesting question. That if we say that 80%, which equals 860 billion shillings, was paid in the last tranche, who's receiving this money?
Yes.
Who's receiving this 860 billion shilling?
The leadership that we have is determined to push Kenyans on the wall.
Are we not there already?
We are a few inches to the wall. When we get to the wall, we might not even have a chance to sit like this and talk, because every caution will be thrown out the window. And I think God was gracious enough to open the eyes of the leaders in 2024. Just a glimpse of what can happen if Kenyans decide to do things their way. If they are pushed beyond a point of no return. But that lesson that was provided for the leadership in 2024, the leadership escaped it. And they are now burying their heads in the sand, pretending not to have learned anything from it. And I always give a warning every time I get a chance to speak on fora like this, that if we continue and it gets to a point where it's the Kenyan people deciding what is good for themselves, then we might end up losing the idea of a nation. It's important that, you see, Kenyans are watching, that they cannot afford these, the basic things that should be done are not being done. There's no money for education, but someone is paying for an expensive flight of 200 million. The Auditor General says 11 billion is lost, but you are still coming and saying we need 22 billion. Why didn't you save the 11 so that we can start looking for the other 11? So, even if we give you the 22, how are we sure that you are going to use it as intended? The problem we are having in this country is lack of care for the ordinary Kenyan. It's about you who is in the office. You see, we've been treated to a lot of wise sayings that politics is about interest. The question is, whose interest? Is it the interest of a voter or the interest of the one vying? So Kenyans ought to think and answer that question for themselves. As you go to the next election, whose interest are you serving? It should be your own interest. And when you think of the interest of an individual Kenyan across the whole country, it's the same thing. Every Kenyan has an interest to educate their children, to access healthcare, to have good roads, to be sure of that their security is guaranteed. If we are not going to consider those interests for ourselves, we are not going to be saved, because the people we think can save us are the very reason why we are in this problem. They are the biggest beneficiaries of how things are today. So we must think for ourselves. And for instance, in Safena, we are saying that let us think as Kenyan people. Let us break the barriers of tribalism and think as an individual Kenyan. What do you want for yourself? What kind of government do you want your children to come and inherit the kind of country that your grandchildren can grow up in?
Nice like